Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, has submitted a petition challenging the victory of Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress in the 25th February presidential election. Despite coming in third place, Mr. Obi filed his petition at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja on Tuesday night, citing several irregularities during the election. He accused Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima of not qualifying to contest the election and failing to secure the majority of lawful votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Obi, in the petition, which had his party as co-petitioner, also requested that the court either declares him the president-elect or order a fresh election, as he alleged the election was conducted without compliance with the law. The petition included 2 main prayers and 3 alternative prayers. Similarly, the presidential candidate of the leading opposition PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has also approached the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal with his objections. One of his key prayers is that he be declared winner, or in the alternative, INEC should conduct another election between him and Tinubu, most likely excluding Peter Obi. Also, the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Dr. Alex Otti, has been announced as the winner of the Abia State governorship election, making him the first governor-elect on the platform of Labour Party in the 2023 general election. Professor Nnena Otti, the returning officer of the state, announced the results of the election, with Dr. Otti of the Labour Party winning with 175,467 votes, while the APC candidate Ikechi Emenike got 24,091 votes, and Oke Ohue of the PDP received 88,529 votes. Tonight on the program, we'll be focusing on the politics in the Southeast, especially Abia and Enugu State. This is after discussing some of the issues at the national level. And to share their perspectives on the issues, we are joined by ACT journalist and editor at Al Jazeera newspaper, Malaki Ozondu. We are also joined by Mazi Dixon Rebo. He is an author, public commentator, and member of the Obedient Movement. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Good evening.
We're happy having you in our studio.
Thank you so much.
Viewers, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV, and I'm your host, Hamza Idris. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, the conversation commences. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back, Mr. Malaki. Let me start with you. Atiku and Peter Obi, they have all gone to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, challenging the victory of Tinubu. What is your take on that? Is it the right path to take?
Yeah, it is their fundamental rights to adopt a legal means towards resolving a dispute. However, I believe that if we had done the proper thing as a country, and I mean INEC, there would not have been any need for us to go and meet a panel of 7 members to decide on the fate of more than 200 million Nigerians. It was INEC that dragged us to this particular cul-de-sac. But be that as it may, those who feel dissatisfied have gone to court, and they've done the proper thing. Not from the perspective of those who will say go to court. No, it is from the right perspective of gentlemen, patriotic Nigerians who have decided to ventilate their disagreement with what, the declarations that were made. So they've done the correct thing, and that is what the law stipulates.
Yeah. Mazi, what is your take? You can see Malaki just took the blame to INEC, that if they had done the right thing. Yes. But INEC has announced results, and the figures are there for everyone to see.
Yes.
Tinubu scored the highest
According to INEC.
Yeah, according to the results collected from...
Yeah, but according to INEC, because
okay.
the Nigerian people are disputing what INEC announced. So according to INEC, and they are the only one, constitutionally empowered to so do, to conduct election and announce winner. However, like my colleague said, indeed, the blame goes squarely to the table of INEC. If INEC, followed its own rules, followed the as provided for in the Electoral Act, and ensured that there was transparency and that all that they promised the Nigerian people was followed through, we won't be challenging it. INEC clearly disappointed the Nigerian people. Also disappointed itself, because severally on television, various media appearances, the INEC chairman, not by proxy, the INEC chairman held on to the process that they have set, for this election. He insisted that this was what was going to go on, how it was going to go and all of that. But eventually,
like what
it didn't come out the way. For instance, the presidential election, which is what we're discussing now. At that very day, beavers worked, right? But transmission, as provided for, as they promised, they set that rule. As they promised, the National House of Reps and the Senate was easily transmitted, but that of the presidential contest could not work, and all of that. That is now the human angle, ensuring that what INEC set as the rule did not, was not followed through and all of that. Outside that, we also saw that, just like the story that just came up now, that is the Abia conclusion of the Abia election and all of that. Now, if you follow the trajectory of that, what happened, right? That's what INEC ought to have done at the national level. INEC had room to revisit whatever complaints the stakeholders had against what was being announced. And they promised they were going to do that. But like thieves in the night, 4 a.m. while Nigerians were sleeping, INEC announced who they said is now the winner. Well, like my colleague said, what the other candidates have done, the aggrieved candidates have done, is go to the right channel instead of fanning the embers of discord and conflict and all of that. We won't burn down our nation because INEC failed. But honestly, INEC did fail itself, did fail Nigeria, and now appears like an enemy of democracy in the most populous black nation on earth. It's unfortunate. Okay. Very unfortunate.
Okay, Malaki, but Atiku and Obi are claiming that they've won. Who do we trust? Who do we give it to?
Well, it is within their ambit to make such claims. If you go to the market and he's carrying yam and I have yam and you have yam, all of us will be saying our yam is the best.
Yes. That
was why I put the blame to INEC. Because prior to the enactment of 2022 Electoral Act, there were several forms of brigandage. Obasanjo introduced do or die politics, which is what is still haunting us up to today. Now, but Nigerians, through the instrumentality of the National Assembly, took steps to see whether they could correct all those anomalies by enacting the 2022 Electoral Act, which, to a reasonable extent, took care of all those things that you found. Now, you discover that you can't blame Atiku. You cannot blame Obi. Neither will you blame the APM people that also went to court. Now, but the issue is that it was INEC that brought about all these things. I am one of those people who have on several occasions met at a media stakeholders meeting with Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. And he promised heaven and earth. I was one of those who asked him, Prof, I doubt that you'll be able to do this. He said, Malaki, it is not impossible. This is the law. Section 64 and down. Stipulates everything. Now, in their own electoral manual, the guidelines with which they train all those electoral officials, they also have to because the Electoral Act gave them the power to distill out the procedures in giving into effect those laws. And they didn't do that. Just one simple thing. How can you tell me, for instance, that you will come, a particular system like this phone that I'm holding can pick your call. Then it will choose not to pick Chief Irebu's call.
But it's not that it didn't pick it completely. It was actually uploading in this.
That is what I'm saying.
Some of the issues they raised, that maybe there was an information overload on the server.
Hamza, ICT is not all that complicated.
Come on.
It is rocket science. Come on. If I send an SMS, if I send the SMS to you now, you receive it instantly.
But Malaki and Mazi, I start to disagree, because look at it, for instance. I don't want us to deviate, but the last day that we don't have cash, that was the last day of the transition of this Naira crunch thing. You remember that millions of people could not even do transactions.
That's a different,
because there was serious traffic.
That's a different process.
Okay, let me hear you.
That requires a different process. The narrative that Malachi, right?
Yes.
Now, what referring to this phone, for instance, I take picture of you, right? And take yours also, and now post his, and he goes. Now attempting to post yours, and he says, no, he couldn't go. That's the real example. That's the real.
It's not that he didn't go, because what they told us later, Mazi, was that, of course, even the presidential, I didn't check it maybe for the last 2 days, but you know, gradually it uploaded everything.
The House of Reps and Senate held the same day.
Seamlessly.
The point we're saying, seamlessly. So that every means, that narrative is cock and bull. The point we're making here is that INEC failed woefully. There's no excuse whatsoever. 300 and something billion naira of taxpayers' money was engaged in this sham that they called election. Like I said, I refer to what the news that we just heard of Abia.
So
what the correct there did is what the national chairman ought to have done. Ought to have done that. Because if, let's agree, he failed. Since the process you said failed, what would you have done?
No, there is an option.
You could have reviewed it.
Malaki, right?
No,
there is an option. I'm coming.
The point is that
for the presidential, let Malaki come in, and then I will give you room to also.
The law provides the procedure.
Exactly.
And
that if it fails to upload
anything outside the law, the law is that you do accreditation with BVAS. After you've done that, it will automatically record the number.
Yes.
The numbers recorded on the presidential poll, for House of Reps, for Senate, all went seamlessly. Now, the second rule is that when you finish the counting of the results at the polling units, you record it manually on the result
and then you
sheet.
snap it?
And then you snap and post. That is the rule. Now, whereby any is unable to upload, you cannot go ahead and do collation, because the rule provides that you have to, if there is the dispute, you have to go back and cross-check. You review before you now come back, and then whatever you find that is uploaded is the one that you take.
That's it.
That is what the rule provides. So, insofar as I didn't do that, now what I'm waiting for is beyond the rhetorics. It is the number of people that will be punished. Punished is not for INEC to announce to us that we're investigating. We want to see the real punishment. Starting with the INEC national chairman. He has to be punished. Because he cannot take all of us
because we have a lot to discuss.
No problem.
So I want us to move to another point, because we're trying to peruse
the meat of this whole thing about the election.
We're trying to peruse some of the items listed by these candidates at the presidential election petition tribunal, and that is why I said we just have to manage the time we have. I was shocked because I went through the petitions. You know, I have one here of Mr. Peter Obi. You know,
it's a 100-pager.
Yes, but maybe this is the abridged. This is just the abridged. But I was shocked. I didn't see claim that this election should be cancelled simply because it was not uploaded. Are the lawyers being clever by half?
No. First of all, you know,
by not listing it among the first top 5.
If you listened to my candidate, and but the people's candidate, as far as I'm concerned, if you listened to him, and he has been consistent on that part is not his interest. His interest is the process.
But it's a process I can be uploading.
Yes, I'm coming. The process. First, the process begins with qualification. Qualification of the aspirants. That's the main process.
And I've seen it in the petition that he is not qualified.
Yes. The Tinubu, by law, he's not qualified, but we'll go to court on that.
How do you mean? Okay, explain. No, you have to tell our leaders.
We're in court already. We'll explain that to you in court.
Why is he not qualified?
Clearly, by the prayer there, you see that, of course, the case on issue of drug-related crime, as provided for in our constitution, anyone who has been found wanting in this direction cannot. In fact, beyond the law, how can we have someone that is linked to a crime as heinous as drug-related?
Allegedly.
Well, allegedly, yes. Allegedly, yes.
I think Festus Keyamo responded to you today. Festus Keyamo, have you read the response of Festus Keyamo?
We don't listen to response from spokespersons. As far as I'm concerned, we have gone to court on this matter. The court will prove to us whether Tinubu can go ahead and with all the baggages and be president of Nigeria. That's one. The other one is that the deputy, the vice president, the vice presidential candidate to Tinubu, Shetima, was in two places at the same time. He was running for Senate and at the same time vice presidential candidate to Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These are facts on the table. And this goes contrary to the provisions of the law. Because you can't be here and be there. You can't eat your cake and have it. Outside that also, in our prayer there, of course it's very clear that what we are asking INEC to prove to the whole world is whether they went through this whole process according to their own set rules. If they went through it according to the laws of the land and all of that. So by every means, if they were expecting P2B to come and more like validate their sham, the crime they committed against the Nigerian constitution and all of that. No, that's not the point is that ab initio, you're not qualified. So if INEC haven't failed, like we rightly said, if INEC followed through all the processes, they would have represented what 200 and something million people decided, was going to be. But they didn't do that. We hope that the judicial arm of government will now save Nigeria, because how embarrassing will it be beyond election as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, when you travel out, as we are presently today, when you tender your green passport, you're first of all suspected as a criminal. Anywhere.
This is according to you, Mazi.
No. The facts are there. Most of us travel. I'm sure you travel.
All right.
But the point is that if we are going to now go to the direction where we now have an allegedly drug lord now as our president, imagine what it will be like for you when you're going to Mecca and you are now told to be, well scrutinized for this particular related crime and all of that. So we need to be careful about this whole thing, and that's what this whole process is about.
Okay, Malaki, even though I don't want us to preempt what is going to happen.
Yes, just 1 second, because of the question you asked.
Yes,
I've gone through his petition.
Yeah.
If you check paragraphs 59 to paragraph 74 and up to 78.
Now,
what the presidential candidate of the Labour Party did was to distill those states and figures that he feels are in dispute.
Yeah.
And then asking for the court to resolve those issues in his favor.
So he wants a review.
Yes,
that's what INEC would have done ab initio.
Based on the question that
that's what he would have done.
Okay, but one key thing before we move on, which I want your take on, is this claim that their election should be invalidated simply because he picked Senator Kashim Shettima as his running mate. How can this hold water? No. Shettima is actually a senator, and he bought his form to go for the Senate again, which is part of the timetable of events of INEC.
Yes.
And he was selected.
Yes. Haven't been nominated.
July.
Haven't been nominated.
Yes.
You cannot hold on to that particular
but he resigned.
A minute.
Okay, fine. He resigned,
Chief,
right?
You know what happens is this. Let us be mindful of the fact that this matter is subject.
Exactly.
Therefore, we cannot go.
We should just touch the surface.
We cannot go deeply into it.
Yeah.
But the most fundamental thing is we have the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act stipulates who should qualify for what. You recall that the issue of the Senate president, even though the Supreme Court said Machina is no longer the candidate, several people are not comfortable with that decision of the Supreme Court.
It gets to the Supreme
Court. It's a matter of what?
Decided, I think it was the same case with Umahi. It was the same case.
Yes,
quite a
it's
number
a matter of what Justice Oputa said, that their judgment is final, not because they are infallible. They are infallible, but because they are final.
They are infallible.
All right.
Now, what we want them to do is follow the letters of the law. And I want to remind them also that Nigerians are not interested in whether the judges wore shoes, or whether they wore their hats, or whether they didn't put on ties. Those technicalities are not what we're after. We are after the substance of the matter.
And I hope
the Supreme Court in their different judgments has said that the court should do away with technicalities.
Exactly.
We want them to give us the substratum of the law,
exactly,
as it ought to be,
exactly,
in deciding this matter.
Yeah.
Once they go into technicalities, the Nigerian public will not find it funny with them.
Okay. Yes, Mazi, another thing that shook me was the call by Atiku that there should be another election between him, that came second, and Tinubu, without mentioning Obi. What does this mean to you?
Like he rightly said, he's selling his own market and all of that. So he has a right to pray for whatever he wants to pray for.
You think he's marketing the whole process?
No, it's his desire. He has a right to pray for whatever he wants to pray for. And it's left for now the court to decide.
It's within the ambit of his rights.
It's his right to do that. But the point is that whether we appreciate this fact or not, let us please, as Nigerians, ensure that we put the interests of Nigeria forward above all of these pockets of interest. It's not about wanting to see that APC didn't win election. No, it's not just if they had won through the right process. So that, for goodness sake, nationhood is a journey that we have impact. It's not a 100-meter dash. It's a marathon. So let's not leave the precedents that will haunt us in the future.
Yeah.
You understand? That's what we're asking for. If we get to the court and the court decides otherwise, well, remember, of course, it will go straight up to Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And whatever judgment that comes from the Supreme Court now becomes a precedent. It becomes part of our law. So it's very important that we discuss these issues dispassionately and ensure that it is Nigeria that we're putting forward. And not just, oh, this is my brother, or this is my party, or this is my interest. No, that's not. We have finished campaigns. We have finished everything. Crimes were committed, and in fact, at various scenes of the crime that was committed against the Nigerian people, even the law enforcement agents were there standing.
They were even involved.
They were directly involved. Videos of these things are there in the public domain.
Okay, Malaki, two other political
So we have a country to save.
Yeah, two other political parties, AA and this lady of APM, OJ, right? OJ scored 25,961 votes, while the person under AA, Hamza Al-Mustafa, but it's a different person that went to the court.
Yes.
Yeah, he scored 41,542. Are these people not on judicial excursion?
Hamza,
I'm right to use this term.
I have given you an analogy.
Okay.
I said all these expeditions, which is what I want
another term, because I said excursion.
Is because INEC gave room to that. Look, let me tell you, have your children at home, and then you want to give them food. You gave this one one, you gave the other one akara, you gave this one bread. You have created crisis.
That's it.
But if you follow the rules that the children should first of all brush their teeth, take their beds, do this, and there will be amity in your family.
Yeah.
So you don't blame somebody because the thing now is that the candidates are claiming that INEC was allocating figures to people. Is it not within their rights to challenge it? Now,
because they contested
if they claim that they allocated very few figures to them, that's not what it ought to be, and they feel that they have the evidence, they have the right to go to court.
Or would you rather they resort to violence? No.
Okay, now another funny thing is that, of course, we are all in court now, but if you look at history of democratic transition in Nigeria, without prejudice to the courts, no Supreme Court ever upturned presidential election. Are you thinking that it will be different this time?
We have neighbors who, Kenya, for instance, is a very good example. We have neighbors that have had it. So, you see, the point is that, first, I maintain that this conversation, whether outside here or within the court, we must ensure that it is Nigeria that we are defending. we must ensure that it is about our nation and not just our parochial positionings. This is about Nigeria. What if we don't get this right? When will Africa get up? Look at the expectation was very, very, very high. Did you see the turnout? Nigerians came out under the rain up to midnight. The passion, the commitment. I haven't in my adult life seen that kind of commitment, patriotic commitment by the Nigerian voters like I saw on the 25th of February. And they came out that way because INEC assured, reassured, and reassured. And Nigerians felt, even first-time voters, not necessarily because they just qualified to vote, but people who have always had their PVC and not interested because of this same with my vote count question they kept asking. And some of us who were at the field during the campaign, we ensured and we engaged and ensured that we promoted that indeed votes will count. Go out and vote. But alas, we saw what we saw.
Okay,
did the votes count? Yeah. No.
Let me give you two short analogy. Number one is, have you ever heard the lawyers saying that there is judgment without justice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What does that entail? It entails that the highest court in the land have made a pronouncement, which you can call judgment. But there is no justice in it.
You cannot dispute. Right?
Number two is, go and read the judgment of Obafemi Awolowo versus Shagari. That has to do with 1979 election dispute, where the Supreme Court declared that 12 is 2/3 of 19. And do you know what the Supreme Court said? They said that judgment should not be cited as precedent. What does that mean?
So it was passing for convenience.
Yes, they knew that they had delivered injustice.
Okay,
but they want to put it.
Therefore, I want you to answer this.
Yes.
Why is it that in Nigeria, anybody that loses believes that he was cheated? That Pundit said we can only get it right when the loser wins. Do you agree with this?
No. Let me tell you, sir. If you follow the process, the question you should ask, rather, and which I want to answer is, why do the umpires find it difficult to follow the rules?
To keep to their rules?
Yes.
So we're now asking questions.
Why did INEC find it difficult to follow the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and its own guidelines? Secondly, why should the police, we saw the police in Rivers State carrying ballot boxes
in Lagos, in different parts of
Why should people who are supposed to be the protector of people be the ones violating? And they did it so unashamedly, with impunity, and nobody will be punished.
Okay, before we go on break, Mazi, answer this one. Why are you not complaining in all the states the obedience, win?
I maintain again that this is not about...
You won in Lagos?
We didn't. The allotted figure what they gave us in Lagos was not what we got in Lagos. And please, by every means, like Peter B will say, it's not necessarily about wanting to win. If you must be called excellency, he says the process must be excellent. So it's not about announcing that we won in Lagos. At the end of it all, what came out? What is it that you presented?
You agree that what you got in Lagos wasn't actually...
Far beyond that. That's what we're questioning it.
If you go to Peter B's petition, Peter B complained about Lagos, Plateau, Edo, Abia, even Enugu. He said the votes that they allocated to me, I've read that petition.
All right.
Was far below. He mentioned his own figures. I mentioned the figure of APC and said, this was what APC originally got in Lagos. This was what I got in Lagos. This was what they turned my figure to. And they made it to be people to believe that I won. So why am I complaining? But I'm complaining because that is not my figure.
We had our own situation room.
Thank you very much.
We had our own situation room. So we were also collecting as INEC was collecting.
We'll go on break for now. Yes. We'll go on a short break. Viewers, don't go away because we'll be back shortly.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and follow us live on YouTube. I still have Mazi and Malaki in the studio, the obedient and then the editor. Yes, welcome back. Mazi, let me start with you. Abia, finally, it has come to pass. Oti has been declared governor-elect under the platform of Labour Party. How did you feel when they announced this?
Well, first of all, like I was referring to it, I commend first the State Electoral Commissioner who abided to the rules. And when the stakeholders, complained, she reverted to what the Electoral Act, gave room for, which was review. And when the review reconciled whatever the issues were. So I commend her. I also commend the sitting governor, the current governor, who I personally know. Yes, he may be a member of PDP, but of course, he was one of those G5 governors who were with us, in the obedient movement. I say that with every sense of responsibility. I commend him for creating that enabling environment. There was no chaos anywhere. There was no killing. There was no burning down of anything. But like the Southeasterners, because I know that you have narrowed this conversation now to the happenings.
Yeah, yesterday we discussed Northeast. We go around. We are for Nigeria.
Yes, we are Republicans by nature. What you saw play out in Abia State is the natural Igbo man for you. We may ventilate for all we care, but the issues will stay there, and the eventual decision of the majority shall suffice. And that's what has played out. So I commend the state governor for ensuring that it wasn't a do-or-die approach and all of that. And then congratulate the winner, Alex Oti, who fought very gallantly and all that. This is, I think, the third time. He has contested under PDP, he has contested under ABGA, he has contested under APC. I think, no, he didn't. Yeah, he went also into APC before eventually now getting it. So I congratulate him.
He's also a trotter.
Yes, I congratulate him. Because, when you have that burning desire to serve your people, right? There's nothing wrong with, if you didn't work here, you move the other way. Because for now, political party is only a vehicle. Until ideology is activated so that you now understand what truly every party stands for, it doesn't matter where you go to. What is important is that your program, and then you market, and the Nigerian people buy into it, and if you win, you win. So I congratulate the governor-elect in Abia State. But you see, I also maintain that the example that the State Electoral Commissioner set, I hope that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, because honestly, he did hurt so many Nigerians by not keeping to his own word.
We will go to that.
I hope he takes a lesson from what played out in Abia State.
Okay.
I hope so.
Malaki, you have had Mazi pouring praises on resident electoral commissioner the returning officer also, because they were summoned to Abuja before they went back and announced the result. But Mazi and co, just yesterday, they were accusing INEC, the REC, Ipiazu of trying to manipulate the process. Is this not validation of...
Since you mentioned my name, can I pick on that?
No, I'm coming. Is this not validation of what I said, that losers believe that something is credible only when they are announced as winners?
No.
Okay.
No, you see, I am constant like the Northern Star. If you follow the rules, nobody will complain.
Yeah.
The rules are nothing but the rules. Follow it. Because the problem that has been facing or bugging our political system are situations whereby some people feel they are above the law. And so their own interests overrides and supersedes the law. When perhaps he was complaining was because he felt that some people had jumped the rule. And so he was no longer comfortable. What they did in Abia was that review that you saw when people will come, agents. Yeah. They will say, okay, so and so. Somebody will say, did you sign? Yes. Did your agent sign? He say yes. He said, so why are you complaining? Yes. I saw where one returning officer was asking somebody in Kaduna when they were declaring Kaduna results. Sign. The guy said he will not sign. He said sign. At the end of the day, when they were giving out result sheets, he refused to give to the guy who did not sign. Say you didn't sign. Yes. It is wrong. He has a right because the law says whether you sign or not. But people have used that signature as a blackmail to the political party of that agent. And as a matter of fact, even in some instances, some people will now fabricate somebody's, because when they fabricate results, they will also fabricate names and signature.
Okay. Mazi, you wanted to protest?
Yes.
Because even your national chairman, Julius Abure, right?
Yes, he raised the alarm.
But now you're all happy.
No, don't take it from that sense. Okay. Why that alarm was raised was simply because of the precedents, like I said, that the national chair had already set. You understand me? If the national chairman at the national level on the 25th of February had, followed the rules like my brother here is saying, we won't have any issue and all of that. So it was, okay, so this national thing that you people did, you're also bringing it here. We will not allow this to also happen at the state level. That's why we raised the alarm. And we did not in any way, there was no moment that we called out the Abia State governor. We kept hammering on INEC. It was INEC, do the right thing. The Abia State governor, by every means, he didn't do what naturally we have seen other governors do.
No, we saw what played out
in Rivers State and all of that.
Some of your members actually accused him that he really wanted his candidate to.
I'm telling you.
Is it not
it's a natural thing, for goodness
sake. That somebody who belongs to a political party,
a natural thing,
who is marketing his candidate, we want him to win.
I have also said here on national television that Dr. Victor Okezie Ikpeazu was one of those behind the obedient movement, even while he was still in PDP.
The rebellious
well, because he saw what is the right thing. What we were angling for was justice, equity, and fairness. And when his party couldn't uphold it, he went straight for what is the right thing.
Okay.
So clearly, by every means, nobody in the Obi camp, not even the candidate, that is Peter Obi right now, would say that Okezie Ikpeazu did anything contrary to these things I've just said here. I'm not telling you what is a secret. It's an open secret that he stood firm for the obedient movement, and that's why the candidate, Peter Obi, would always tell you that Labour Party is the vehicle, all right, but obedient movement is bigger than Labour Party. We have members of APC who are supporters of the obedient movement. We have members of PDP and all the political parties, because we saw someone who was coming with a new narrative that would be good for the entirety of the nation.
Okay, I'll come back to you on Abia, but I want to have your take on Enugu now, because it's still in the spotlight.
Yes.
What are your expectations?
Well, it is also a shame that Enugu result had to come to Abuja.
Okay.
The review should have been done there, which is what they are doing, is medicine after death. Now, at the end of the day, but it is still good that you do the proper thing.
No matter how late.
They say it is better late than never.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? Now, you will see that by the time, having finished with Abia, go and watch the level of litigations that will come up arising from this Abia thing because of the review. Compare it with the presidential election. It is the same thing with Enugu.
People will cite it as
presidents. In fact, it is even amazing that as we sit here, that result has not been declared. What are they calculating?
Exactly.
Professors
for Enugu
that teach students, that fail students, cannot do simple arithmetic. And they give us
like I said, it started from.
Do you understand? So,
it started from what the National did on the 25th of February.
Yeah.
They are following the body language of the National chairman. You don't blame them. He gave them the assignment, and when he did set the example, they had to start following that direction. But the point is that whether we appreciate what is happening in Enugu also or not, the part of review as provided for in the Electoral Act is the right thing to do. Let whoever emerges as the winner after the review be announced.
Okay, Mazi, you are now celebrating Ikpeazu. directly or indirectly.
Yes, I am.
But your governor-elect now,
yes,
or he left the PDP and went to,
including my candidate, yes, including myself. So it's not just the governor-elect.
Don't you think Ipeazu is actually celebrating him nocturnally because he feels that he will go back to PDP?
No, it's not about going back to PDP. Okay. Like I said, the political
politicians
party. No, hold on, sir.
Really
the political party is a vehicle.
Okay.
Two parties for the past since 1999 have held sway. That is APC and PDP, and we have seen where the country is. The Nigerian people are tired of the two parties. That's the truth, because any party that cannot uphold its own constitution, that cannot organize internal ways of sharing power for the good of Nigeria, that party should not be supported to come to power, because they will create confusion further. They will balkanize the nation further. We need a party that will, first of all, respect its own rules. That way, we will believe that you'll be able to respect the constitution of the land. So there's no way possible that Alex Otti, having tested APC, tested PDP, tested ABGA, and now through the People's Movement, has led through LP, and now wins, and you say he will go back to Egypt. To go and do what? The thing now you will be expecting is, I hope that he will not be the shining example that
not to go, because it is the antics of the politicians. You see, because they are products of APC or PDP.
Under the euphoria of victory.
Yes.
I think
Mazi.
Chief Irem,
I am Mazi, actually.
Yes, has taken his joy
too far.
Yes.
How? He went overboard with his joy.
How? Because the fact of the matter is that as we speak, Governor Keze Bazu is a bona fide member of PDP.
I agree.
The party has not accused him of anti-party like they did to Chimaro Kennamai. Do you understand? So, for you to make allusions that, look, he's celebrating the victory of this and that, what I believe is that Okezi Bazu, with the vantage position he's holding as the governor of Abia State, have looked at the entire thing with intelligence and everything coming to him. And he felt that there was no need for any further disputations or crisis in the state because Alex Otti won.
Yeah.
Fair and square.
No, I agree.
Now, that is why I'm coming as an elder. And as the leader of the state, he is now calling for calm and amity. However, there is something that our politicians should look out for. You know, they say when they move from one party to the other, they call it the campaign.
Yes.
Journalists like me call it prostitution. It is wrong for somebody who has been elected to represent me by senatorial zone. He will wake up and come to the National Assembly and tell a lie and then move to another party. That person is not the procedure. Therefore, what I'm advocating here is that the processes for the campaign or cross-campaign or whatever thing they call it must refer back to the people, just like you do recall. You must go back, cast a ballot, get the precipitates of your people to say, should I now move to another party? The elected politicians have no right. It is usurpation. It is theft. Do you understand? So those are the things.
While I agree to some of the points you're making.
Sorry, just a second. But because the laws are not yet provided,
that is why they are gallivanting.
I am calling for the next 10th National Assembly to look into this particular statement that I make. So that
in
political prostitution, it is what is bereft, that's what is removing ideological stance from our polity.
Okay, we need to hear Mazi.
My own view is immediately we begin to allow the people's will to stand. This angle you're raising will not even come up. Because it is the way it is, because by every means, the people's verdict is not what is allowed. That's why we're saying INEC failed. If, for instance, INEC upholds the rules of engagement and everything is followed and someone emerges under a political party, he naturally would know that the people has given him an assignment, a duty. He didn't buy it. He didn't fight, unnecessarily, or he didn't go through an illegal means to ensure that he came to power and all of that. Anything outside ensuring that the rules apply, these angles, the camping or defecting
will not be there.
Will always go. But on the issue of Okeze Ikpeazu, please, so that I also make my brother understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. It is common knowledge that the G5 governors were not with their party. They worked against their party.
Yeah, some for Labour, some for
the
APC,
party was not bold enough to take a decision against
the anti-party, right?
Because it was clear. It was clear. They took a position. They worked against the candidate of the party and ensured the candidate failed. So why am I praising Okezikpazu? I knew where he stood. I also know that
because you knew that he was tilting towards LP.
I knew where he stood. It was clear. He said it and over again. I knew where he stood.
Are you not promoting anti-party?
No. But beyond that, I'm also saying that because of the level of power that the subnationals have, the governors have, he could have wielded his power. Wike did it in Rivers, but the governor decided that by every means we will go we will go all through the process and all of that, and whoever emerges. And immediately the candidate of a Labour Party emerged winner. He quickly has congratulated him and advised other candidates not to go towards litigation.
Mazi, was it you 2 days ago? Was it you 2 days ago, or somebody who shares the same name with you that actually call out Chimaroke Ndamani as a disgrace?
He's an embarrassment.
Why?
Because clearly
he did the same anti-party.
No. It's not even about his anti-party. No. That's not why I called him the names I called him.
All right.
It's not about his anti-party thing. The party also took a decision. I was able to expel him before even the election. But the point is that when you look at the tweets from someone from that position, former governor and a sitting senator, right? The kind of language is inciting. And that's why I called him irresponsible. By every means, he is everything but a leader, everything that a leader should not be. Chimaroke Ndamani and all of that, his approach, the language and all of that, that's not how to play the game.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned,
we're running out of time.
He's on a different mission.
Malaki, I want you to, now we are rounding up the elections. Labour Party has just one state. We don't know what will come out from Enugu. Even in the event Enugu favors Labour Party, they will have 2 states. Yeah. Are they not overrating themselves to think of producing the president?
Well, if I refer you back to
you should be very brief because we have run out of time.
I have to respond on this.
Peter Obi said if he emerges as president,
he's
not emerging as the president of Labour Party. He's emerging as president of Nigeria.
Yes.
That he had been governor in Anambra State without any member of his party in the legislature.
Yes.
And he did well, creditably, as a governor. Yeah. I don't think that is a problem to anybody. Even if he didn't have a single member, even at the National Assembly, or no governor at all. And let me tell you, sir, because of what started becoming very prominent from 2015 election.
Round up?
You know, 5 governors did what they did in 2015 election. Exactly. 5 governors came back in 2023 and repeated almost the same
script.
The same scenario played out.
Okay, so Mazi, what will you say? But in addition to what you will say, your outcome was a disaster for state assembly elections. Yes, I'm apologizing to you.
First of all, this is that Labour Party or the obedient movement that started in a room, 4 people tweeting. They didn't give us a chance. Today we have 36 House of Rep members elected. Today we have about 6 senators elected.
And then a disaster for state assembly.
No, excuse me, sir. By every means, within 9 months, this miracle happened. Sacked the landlord of Lagos from his state. And then he had to now release, mayhem on the state. No, thugs were all over the streets of Lagos.
It's still allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly because the facts are there.
Masquerades.
For goodness sake, they were all there. Shrines were opened up and all of that. That's 4 people tweeting from a room. Listen, my brother. After the court case, we will now know whether we were a disaster in this election or not.
All right, thank you. We have to put that. Thank you very much. Malaki Ozondu for coming to the program. Mazi for coming to the program. We enjoyed the conversation with you. We hope to have you again.
Thank you very much.
Yes, viewers, that's a wrap on today's program. Thanks for watching and do join us again. I'm Hamza Idris.